Hi everybody, Nathan Ronen, CFA here with an update for those people that are actually in the CFA Level 2 program or candidates that are considering taking Level 2, people who are retaking Level 2. This is probably an update that you want to listen to in terms of proper preparation for vignettes, also known as item sets. If you'd like to continue receiving these updates on a weekly or bi-weekly basis as I post them on my YouTube channel or on other forms of social media, please press the subscribe button now and the notifications bell so that you are updated as often as I make them. Well, Nathan, one of the things I've seen a lot of times when I've heard about the Level 2 exam or whatever, I've taken the Level 2 exam, is it's so different from Level 1. I mean, it's multiple choice questions, but they're so different. Is there anything that you can expound on this or give me some idea, some maybe tips or strategies how to attack the item sets on the Level 2 exam? Okay, that's a loaded question. I get it very often. I get it from people in my program, people considering my program, people reaching out to me. I hear this all the time. First of all, let's take a step back. In my humble opinion, IMHO, the Level 2 is probably the most difficult level from all three levels because of the sheer volume of material that you're responsible for and the fact that you have a limited number of questions, 88 multiple choice type questions in the first session and in the second session in total, so 44 and 44. However, you've been spoiled in the Level 1 program with 180 multiple choice type questions that weren't based on reading any reading passages or stories or having much analysis to do. This is the predominant impact that you need to take into account on exam day at Level 2. If you're going into the Level 2 exam anticipating layup questions, like in basketball, a layup, or directly out of the book, just regurgitate something from the book, or a lot of calculations, because the program has a lot of calculations in the readings, you are not studying for the Level 2 exam correctly. Absolutely not. You are actually doing a wonderful job at preparing for Level 1. Level 2, as I said before, is 88 questions. You have the same amount of time as the Level 1 and the Level 3 program. So what kind of questions are they asking you? They are asking you questions that are not only going to require you to integrate concepts from multiple modules, multiple readings, multiple topics across the CFA Level 2 program, but they're also going to ask it in a way that is going to challenge you analytically. So if you're expecting an analytical question like a balance sheet and income statement asked to calculate two ratios, the current ratio and the times interest earned or whatever, the debt to equity ratio, too easy. If you're expecting them to also say, well, which one of these would increase or decrease, too easy. You should be expecting questions that are going to integrate multiple concepts from multiple readings, as I just said, and that they're going to be more analytical in nature rather than just pure computational. So I see people all the time trying to do these backward induction calculations for an interest rate collar or for a cap or something like that. Yeah, they could ask that maybe one question, but that's not the focus of the exam. You need to understand you're looking to be a portfolio manager, an equity analyst, a fixed income analyst, something like that. You need to have honed analytical skills. That's the hallmark of the CFA program, and that is the core of the Level 2 program across equity, fixed income, derivatives, alternative investments, portfolio management, is the ability to analyze and the ability to bring different concepts together to make a decision about whether it's overvalued, undervalued, whether you'd buy it or sell it, that kind of stuff. Why you would do it or why you would incorporate that kind of investment or strategy. That's what they're looking for, the analytical component. Because one thing that people know about charter holders is that they went through this program and they, for the most part, have honed analytical skills. And that's what they get in the Level 2 program. So I'm going to warn you now, if you're using a prep provider or you're reading on your own, and you're focused on all the calculations and making sure you know every single formula and backwards and forwards, and you're going to try to memorize the program, or you're going to memorize lists or something, you're not prepared for the level 2 program. Those item sets are designed very well. And if you don't believe me, look how many exams CFA Institute gives you or sells to you as a potential mock exam. Very few compared to level 1. Okay, so you need to understand item sets, vignettes, followed by 4 questions are much more difficult to create because they have to be analytical in nature rather than just regurgitating objective information from the readings. That is the key point. That is how I focus my level 2 program. That's how I focus my lecture videos, my mock exams. Doing good mock exams, not mock exams. Everybody's got mock exams. Doing good quality mock exams, not created by ChatGPT at this point in time, okay? Not doing mock exams that are like, oh, I got a 90. Well, if you're getting 90s and 100s or 85s on mock exams, those mock exams are probably either A, too easy, B, too simplistic, or C, they're not integrating concepts along multiple readings. That's why when I see candidates tell me, oh, I'm doing very well, and then they on these mock exams, and then they don't pass the real exam, I ask, well, which mock exams did you use? And it's usually the same, what I call mock exams, and I'm like, well, those are not, come on, guys. Those questions are not the caliber of what you get on the exam, were they? No. So then why don't you use or get more questions that are based on analysis and are going to require you to think, analyze, and conclude. And that's what my mock exams do. That's what all the problems in my lecture videos do, is focus on that analytical component that is so crucial to passing the level 2 exam. Again, if you don't know the answer, you can always guess A, B, or C, just like you did in level 1. But you're not going to be able to get through the exam that way and pass just guessing every answer. So you want to make sure that you are on target. You want to make sure that you have put in not only the amount of time that you need to study for this exam, but that you're studying correctly, that your focus is correctly, that your focus is not distracted by only formulas and quantitative stuff and all that. Yes, you're going to have some calculations on the level 2 exam. Absolutely. I would never tell you there's going to be no calculations. Are you expecting 50% of them to be calculations? You're not studying for the right exam. Okay. So keep in mind, if you're looking for tips and strategies, make sure that you have a reputable prep provider for the level 2 program, okay? And making sure that your instructor is not just regurgitating the information with endless PowerPoint slides and endless depth of information that you don't need, but is really focusing on that analytical component. Because again, you want to be as close as possible to the exam on exam day, not the furthest away. And make sure that your prep provider is also providing you with good mock exams. Going for those cheapo 8 mock exams for $1 or whatever. You don't need to do 8 mock exams, 5 mock exams from one particular source. That's not good, because you are implicitly assuming that prep provider or that entity's mock exams are going to be the questions on your real exam. No, you should be diversifying your resources and doing, again, mock exams from multiple sources, not just from one prep provider. That's why I only produce 3 mock exams. I don't want people doing more than 3 mock exams for me. I can easily create 10. That's not necessary. Okay, but you want to mix them around. Some from the CFA Institute, some from me. You want some from other prep providers that I'm happy to recommend if you're working with me, which ones to do. That is the key. You want to sit for the level 2 exam once. And if you didn't have me before, maybe twice. But you should never be sitting for the level 2 exam more than once or twice. Okay? That is the key. And the way to do it again is to focus on the analytical component. Make sure you have good mock exams. Make sure you have a good mentor for level 2 that can walk you through and get you through the program. Don't trust your instincts to just read the curriculum or read some prep notes on your own. That's not the way to prepare for level 2. And remember the last tip. Level 2 is not level 1. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. You got my name, Nathan Ronen, CFA. I have my website, chalkandboard.org. That's CHALK and A-N-D, board, BOARD.org. So that's chalkandboard.org. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. I have different types of packages that can absolutely help you to get through level 2. And let's do it on the first try or your next try. Thanks for listening.